There is a wilderness of football management apps out there, and today we're going to unpack some of the best ones and do a little bit of a guided tour around some of the features. Welcome to the Football Hub. Let's start unpacking it. So first up, we're going to look at Spond. This is a great app. I used it last season, so let's get into it and see what it's all about. So first up, you can see that you can add a little bit of a head in your sort of team photo there. We can create events, nice and easy. There's loads of selections on here. It's fantastic. So we can put in there when we're training, date, time, all that kind of usual stuff. Little feature I like here, you can set a meet-up time as well. So 10 minutes before training, get all the chat out of the way, or 30 minutes before a match to start warming up. Stick your locations and stuff in there so parents can get notified where they're going. And you can set that to repeat. So if we've got recurring training or we've got fixtures that we know are repeating every week, nice and simple and easy to put in there. We can even set when we want the invites to send. So really straightforward, really user-friendly. You can set registration fees in there as well. So your match fees and stuff that coaches collect, you can set how much it is in there. Just watch, there is a transaction fee. So I just set it to £5. It comes up with a fee of, I think it was 34p. So just be wary of that it's not completely free if you're going to use that side of it. So setting the events and stuff there, setting different fixtures. There's loads and loads of options. You can do it in bulk, so there is an option to basically do it from your PC where you can set them in bulk, basically like import a CSV file, I presume it is. And then there's loads of different ways we can do it. So we can create an event, we can do it for members or for parents, guardians. You can see along the top there you've got event or match, so you can select whether it's an event if you're going for a day out or a tournament maybe, or you can set it as a match if you're going for a game. So as you look through, we can change the colours of the team and everything when we're in the match settings, which is a nice little touch. See, make sure there's no clashes and stuff. This is manually set, but you can add attachments in there, so you can add team sheets or photos of team sheets, put your match fees in. There's loads and loads of choices there. Fantastic amount of stuff that you can do with it. You can add tasks to remind yourself if there's stuff that you need to do, plan your tactics, all that kind of good stuff. And then as we go back into the events page, you can see there are all the fixtures. So we've set the recurring fixtures for training each week. Nice and simple, really easy to use. There's loads of different events and stuff that we can do. There's posts that we can add. You can see the payments there. We've got a little selection. So once we're set up, you can invite new members. This is sort of on setting up a team at the moment, the view that you can see there, just because there's no posting. But basically click the little plus sign and it'll give you all the kind of stuff that you can do there. They add event, add polls, so you can ask parents, players questions. You can create a fundraising campaign through the app. There's loads and loads of stuff that you can do there. You can create a post so you can do your little match reports and stuff on it. Very similar to WhatsApp, I would say. So if you're using a WhatsApp group, it might be a little bit easier rather than parents having it, because everyone's in WhatsApp anyway, rather than them going into this to answer a question. But it's there as a nice little option if you need it. You can add files, so if there's anything you want to upload for the players to see, or if there's sort of club details that you need to do, if this is a sort of club setup version and you're just running one of the teams within it. Yeah, and you can send, so basically send your attendance responses out to parents, so that'll go out to them. They select whether they can attend or not, and then it'll let you know who's available. You can add different recipients, you can add members, parents, guardians, all that kind of stuff. You can add multiple teams, and that is it. That's Spond in a nutshell. Really easy to use. I like how many different details you can choose. There's loads and loads of options there, so it's really good for your kind of match day management. I like that side of it. And of course, if you wanted to collect fees. Next up, we're going to look at Pitchero. Now, Pitchero is one of my absolute all-time favourites. I think there's just so much you could do with it, so much potential sort of options. You can use it as big or as small as you like. So I have used it on a very small level just to manage training and match attendance, whether that be for parents to respond to or just for me to monitor sort of attendance at training throughout the season. You can also build it all the way up to having a club website and different sections for every individual team within your club. So it's really scalable, which I think is a fantastic tool. Basically pick which club or which bit you're using. I've got a couple of different clubs on there, so you select the little badge and it'll let you pick through a different one. So you can see the different teams there. The free version, you only get one team, so if there's a number of teams in your club using it, they would need to set up their own account. But if you have a club one and you pay for the premium option, then you can have multiple teams in there with different access levels for coaches and administrators, moderators, all that kind of good stuff. So going into your match settings then, loads of options. So you can set your your team that you're playing against, date, what kind of match it is, cup, friendly. The bit I like in here is the match centre as well. So you can put loads of details on there about, you can mark your team out, you can publish it if you want to. Just bear in mind at the youth ages, I very rarely published the team in advance because I didn't want players turning up to the match thinking that they weren't playing or knowing that they weren't playing, because it just puts them in a bad headspace before they turn up. So I would always hold the team selection off until we were at the side of the pitch, and then I would select players. But the options there, if you're playing adult football and stuff, then you might want to publish your team selection, and that will publish it to your website as well. Centre, you've got loads of different bits you can add. You can add all your goals, yellow cards, red cards, penalties, when it happened, what happened, blocked shots, subs on and off. I like the little star player bit, so you can add your star player on, which I think is a great little touch. It's, at the moment, I'm not using one of these at the moment. I use a spreadsheet that I've set up myself, that I've built, available through the Football Hub. It's a nice little touch, so you can track who's been awarded star player each match throughout the season. It's a nice way to look back. You can charge your match fees and stuff through it. However, it does cost, so you need to be on the premium version, and you can set that up through the website. Nice and simple enough. It's just, it needs the premium version, so you've got to pay for it. Training's very similar to Spond, so you can go through, you can set sort of repeating training sessions, you can set different training sessions and times for different teams if you've got the premium version. You can set who's attending, and I like that you can get attendance as well. So player availability, so you put your training in, and then I did it a couple of years ago where I was getting players to notify that they were available or unavailable for training, and it'll basically send them a little notification through the app, and they just hit whether they're going or not going. It's a fantastic way to plan your sessions. If you know exactly how many players are turning up, it's brilliant. It makes planning your training so much easier. So really, really like that aspect of it. This is on the Pitchero Manager app as well, I should say. So this is for managers to manage their team. There is the club app as well, which is more for players, parents and stuff to engage, to set attendance, to keep up to date on team goings on, posts, matches, fixtures, all that kind of good stuff. So you can add members and stuff in here, check all your availability, loads of different options. There is a website as well, so put the little sort of screenshot of the website up. It's a great tool. I used it quite a bit, where you've just got access to a few more settings. You can update your database a little bit easier for all your players and their details and stuff. You can manage like the website a little bit better, all that kind of stuff. So it is a really, really handy tool, that website. But this is the Pitchero Club app, just to give you a brief outline of it. So you can see over there you've got an overview, matches, table, news. You can see all the team info, what matches you've got coming up, when the next ones are. You can see the reports, see the highlights that we put in there and stuff. You can actually integrate this with league tables, so if the league that you're entered in and part of uses Pitchero, then your league tables and stuff can show up there as well. And then you've got news, photos, events, all that kind of good stuff. You can send messages as well, so you can message through to the coach. Next up then we'll look at Heja. Heja is a really simplified version of all of these management apps. I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. If you want to just keep it simple and you want to know attendance, matches and training, and that's all you're really fussed for, Heja is a great tool. Doesn't have any bells and whistles. Can't collect payments, I don't believe, and you can't get too intricate with like putting loads of details about players and like stuff like this, but it is a really, really simple and effective way to manage attendance for training and matches. And you can see there it's really user friendly. That looks fantastic, nice and simple. Players can go on and they can just hit go in or not go in whether they're attending training. So simple. There's team chats and managers chats and stuff there as well. In all honesty, I didn't use any of it. When I was using Heja, we just used WhatsApp, but we used this for attendance rather than sending out polls and stuff all the time. And to be fair, I was using this before polls were a thing on WhatsApp. So you can put all your match details in there, get your attendance and stuff, and then you can put your score in at the end. I believe if you've got the premium version, then you can sort of keep up to date and you can see all your stats and your scores and stuff a little bit better. But the free version's more than enough for if you just want to track attendance and availability for games. What I would say about Heja is it probably does no more than a poll does on WhatsApp now. Now, that's not to put you off them. It's a great way to keep everything in one place. But if your parents are reluctant to download extra things, then definitely consider just using WhatsApp and sticking a poll out. That's how I operate at the moment. I use a poll on WhatsApp to get availability. Then I'll publish the team in a message, say everyone that's coming, all the details, where it is, when it is, all that kind of stuff. And then I have a spreadsheet that I use to keep track of our results, who's attended what games, how many matches they've played, all that kind of stuff. And I just find that easier to manage at the moment, rather than trying to convince parents to download an app that they don't already have and to engage with it and stuff as well. So that's just another option away from these sort of management apps. So next up, we're going to look at Teampulse. Now, this is a little bit more of an American sort of one, I suppose. Basically, stick your details in. So you create your team, stick in football, where you are, all that kind of good stuff. Loads of nice, simple details. It's quite a nice, clean, crisp looking app, I must admit. Stick your events in. Now, navigating around it, I wasn't a huge fan. You can put your availability and stuff on there. Not sure about paid versions, but it just seemed a bit all over the place, in all honesty. Certain functions try to put in the result and stuff wasn't working. Now, I didn't go into too much detail about how to sort of add the match and do it all properly, but it just seemed a little bit complex. But then it might be one of those that once you get used to it, it sort of becomes a little bit easier. You can add posts on there, update your members, all the usual kind of stuff. Loads of details you can put in for your player profiles, name on jersey, shoe size. You can create a number of different teams. It's quite good. It sounds like it should be quite good. Teampulse, love the name, love the branding, love the styling. Just not sure. For me, it doesn't do anything that the rest of the apps didn't do a little bit better. Looks good, nice and clean, nice and crisp, but I'm not convinced by it, in all honesty. But it's a good option, definitely worth having a look at. Next up then, this is a little bit of a curveball. So this is SmartCoach++. Some of the kind of content looks a little bit dated and simple, but it's quick and slick and effective, and there's loads of details you can add in, which I quite like actually. So you can choose your team colour, choose your badge. It's there's loads of sort of bits and pieces that you can tweak and modify and stuff. Adding the matches, in practices, I wasn't too impressed with the detail of it, so you can add in your notifications, training. I spelled that wrong, obviously. Wants access to the calendar, which I really like, so it can integrate with your calendar on your phone or whatever. There is a nice little touch on this actually that I do really like. So you basically choose your drills, put on there. You can build up your session. Now the only problem is when you're going through it, you can't preview it from what I can tell. But you can add your drills in there, and then if we go through to start the session, or you can print a PDF, which I think is fantastic. You can basically pull up the drills and it will give you a little bit of a description about it and give you an image of what the drill is, so you can build your full session, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think there's probably quite a lot of coaches out there that would find that really useful, particularly at the younger ages. It would be nice to see a preview part, so you can sort of see the image of the drill before you choose that you're going to use that drill in your practice. You can highlight your attendance and everything in your practice mode, but you basically start the session, set how long you want each drill to be. We've just done a simple passing diamond in there for 10 minutes, and then you start your session and it basically runs you through everything. I think it's maybe a little bit too much to be doing while you're trying to deliver a session. You should be concentrating on coaching, but it's a nice little touch. You could sort of review it. It's a planning tool, and then you step in and deliver the session, and you've got it there to refer back to if you need. But I would definitely suggest use the PDF version rather than the live sort of session running. Matches, again, there's not too much detail there. I don't think you can get notifications of availability and stuff, which is a big downside, but you can put your attendance and everything for training and stuff. I presume you can do it for matches. It might just be that we've not added any players in, so it didn't give us that option. But I don't think, from using this before, I don't think it notifies you. But it is a nice little app as a tool. If you're using WhatsApp for that and you just want something to track your season, track your results and that kind of side of things, then this is a fantastic tool. I do like the player profiles, so there's loads of details you can put in here. It looks really clean, really crisp. You can import players from your contacts as well if you need to. Stick if they're captain, their positions, height, weight, all this kind of stuff, what foot. And then you've got along the top, you've got different attributes and contact details and stuff. So I think it's a fantastic app for that side of things. And that is SmartCoach++. So it's a little bit of a curveball, that one, but I really like it. I wouldn't use it for managing your team, because it doesn't allow you to add availability and stuff as far as I know, but I would definitely recommend it for planning sessions, and if that's something that you're sort of struggling with, then maybe give it a try. But that is it. So we've looked at Heja, we've looked at Pitchero, Spond, Teampulse and SmartCoach++. If I was to prioritise them, I would say Pitchero is probably my favourite. I've used it for the longest. It's really effective at sort of managing your availability and communicating with parents. Heja is another one. If you just want that engagement of who's attending training, then that's a great tool. I don't like it from managing previous results and adding score lines and all that kind of stuff so that you can look back on them. You can only look back so far, if I remember. I only used it when I moved to a new club because the coach that I took over from had been using it, so that was the only reason I used it in the first place. And then as soon as that season ended, I sort of got rid of it, and we've moved now to WhatsApp and a spreadsheet. Spond, I think, is a really popular option. Seems to be very, very good. I've not used it enough to say hand on heart that it's the one to go for, but I think if you are managing a senior team and you're looking to get match fees in and all, using it to its full potential, I think it's probably a very good option. If you're running a club, then Pitchero is probably your best option because of that sort of integration in that website. You can use it to make Facebook posts and social media posts, so you basically create an article or a match report or whatever on Pitchero, and then you can post that direct to your Facebook pages if you've got all that side of it set up. So it's a really good tool. Does loads and loads. I suspect there's probably not many apps out there that do as much as Pitchero, and you have the different sort of elements. There is Pitchero Play as well, which is like for recording games and stuff, and you can live stream and all this kind of stuff, which is obviously part of the paid version. But for me, I think Pitchero and Spond are probably the two that are up there. Heja, if you're just looking for availability, is a good option, but probably not the one I would go for. I would choose Pitchero, I think, if I was going for availability, or Spond, but I just prefer WhatsApp and a spreadsheet. It's easy to manage, it's simple. Everybody's got WhatsApp anyway. Parents don't like downloading additional apps unless you've got a team of parents that are very much into it and are quite happy to get that extra application on their phone, then they're a great option. But WhatsApp, generally everyone's got WhatsApp anyway, and it's easy to manage. Everyone knows how to use it anyway, so it's nice and simple, nice and straightforward. I suppose the best football management app for me is WhatsApp. If only they would add a feature where you could stick your fixtures in there and have a little calendar bit and maybe put your results in, that'd be fantastic. So if somebody could create WhatsApp but for football with those extra details, then class would be a way. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, head to thefootballhub.org, and we have got loads of blogs. We've got a blog about this, so if you want to go and find out more details, head to the blog, check it out. It's on thefootballhub.org. There's a little bit more detail, gives you more of the features and stuff of each of the applications. We've skimmed through them very quickly there, but head to the website, it'll give you a full breakdown of it. I'll link it in the description to the video anyway. Good luck.